One, and we are live.
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
We are
Hi
live.
guys, we are live. We are
Woohoo.
momentarily, possibly, conceivably, in charge of the tech. But it was nearly a battle to the death. Anyway, so here we are today, May, and we are doing floral gins. And we have a special guest, Roscoe.
We do. We have our Steve
So
from Fossies
I
here, though.
might ask our special guest to come and join us here in the tasting studio.
I'll just come up from the cellar.
Nice work, nice work. So, Mr. Steve Timmis, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Pleasure. So, what we do, you've done a few of these before, haven't you, with us? We don't know you've done lots of them on your own. And I've managed to leave the giraffe of water over there, so we'll go and get that in a minute. Why are we doing floral gins? Mr. Smith, explain yourself.
Because we haven't done floral gins for about 2 years, as I looked at it. Because we always say, oh, we've done floral gins, and then we just go on to something a bit more sophisticated.
Sophisticated.
Yeah. Or what we think is sophisticated. But I looked at it and went, well, really, there's plenty of floral gins out there, and some of them are pretty sophisticated. We're just being a bit like getting stuck in a rut. So,
yeah,
time to brush out a few floral gins. And it was like, and these are all gins that I think, in terms of the Wigs team, has all tasted more than once, but probably not for ages.
And also certainly not in this combo.
No, definitely not in this combination.
All right, so what are we tasting tonight?
The Karoo.
Yep.
Affinity Gin.
Cool.
They're from New South Wales somewhere. Why is it called Karoo? Karoo is...
We'll do that when we get there. What
get
else are
there.
we doing?
Oh, yeah. The Fossies White Frontignac, which has a story, which he'll tell us a story about.
Yep.
And the Tangan, which is from Singapore.
Yay!
But it does have Australian content because 2 of the guys involved are Australians.
Oh, cool.
Well, but they mainly live in Singapore and do the expat thing, and they sort of, one of them came back because his mate's into wine and said, "It's no distilleries in Singapore." They went,
Really?
Yeah.
So he was
I actually thought
I
about it
think
myself.
we need to fix that.
well, there's now
Nice.
2. I think there's now 2, but they were the first. So him and his mate, he's a Australian, but he's of English heritage. So he's got a slight accent. We haven't rounded that off yet. And the other guy is full-blown Melburnian. And the third guy is another expat, but lives in Singapore. So they all met in Singapore. So
Alex Keys says, hello, Fossies man. Can't wait to go to Mildura and catch up. Awesome. All right, so we're going to start with...
good idea, Alex Keys.
We are going to start with the Karoo. We don't have to drive all that way. You just make him come here. Very simple.
No, that's exactly right.
And stay tuned, Alex Keys.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with the Karoo. Guests first.
Oh, thank you.
Whichever end.
Back to one. Oh, crikey Moses.
No, that's I'm fine with it.
No, you're not.
Oh, come on. I don't have to drive home. Well, it's only 650 k's. That's no point being a cowboy if you're afraid of the sheriff. I always say.
Fair enough.
Now,
All right.
Karoo, why is it called Karoo? I decided to look that up because I thought it was like, it's an Aboriginal name. No, it's Estonian for bear. And there's Estonians in the distilling group, so
where does the bear come into it?
well, it's just a sign of
Just
strength.
because it does. It's like a polar bear with
like Bundaberg.
with Bundy, like what?
It's a family tradition to align themselves with the Estonian bear, so that they thought that they named the gin that way.
Yeah,
It's
right.
very confusing because apart from the fact that I thought it was an Aboriginal name as well, it also says from the mouth of the devil's wilderness, which meant that I thought it came from Tassie.
Yeah, so I glanced at it and
But no, it comes from Gracevale, and they also can't punctuate, but that's for another day.
All right.
Anyway,
Wasted.
all right, let's go.
Cheers.
Smells like floral gin.
It does.
What I like about the floral gins is you get the juniper, but it gets sort of, it's behind that sort of, it's in that second layer.
And you get floral notes. Yeah.
Who knew?
Who knew? Who knew? That's really quite good on the nose.
It is, isn't it?
Hmm.
So what else can we
I'm
smell?
impressed.
What else can we smell other than
Flowers.
any particular kind?
So my floral nose is not that great, I must confess. You know,
Right.
we have a mixture of floral notes, but
It's not. It's
We're certainly not getting any vanilla.
no. It's a sort of. It's a wisteria kind of ish.
It's not quite jasmine.
No.
no. I can tell you what it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you might be right. It might be nearly that wisteria kind of.
Or Chilean jasmine. I've got one of them at the back of the house. It smells a lot like that.
it's a white flower.
Yeah, it's a white flower.
It's a white flower smell.
Yeah.
No, yellow,
No, it looks
yellow
like a white
flowers.
flower.
Yellow flowers smell different. Don't ask me how
Do
that
they?
works. They do.
Right.
No, we were this is quite true. We was tasting a Scottish gin, and Vivian's went. It was the Blackwoods vintage, so it's different every year. And then we smelled it, going, this is white flower. And then we looked at the three predominant herbs they'd used. They all had white flowers.
Really?
See?
Extra
Magic.
ration of rum for you.
Yeah.
Well done.
Awesome. It's nice and clean. It's got a real brightness to it, and
That's-
not just because it's my first gin of the day.
So what does everybody else out there smell? Give us what are our flower?
Ian Perry says, "Great to see you, Mr. Fossies." He's from Mount Gambier.
Oh, right. Oh, yes. We've had a few little soirees down in Mount Gambier. I know the place well.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Ian's a chef there.
Oh. Yeah. I think we did something at his restaurant once. Maybe.
Hello, Christine. Oh, Liz and Lisa have got alcohol burn.
No, I haven't got
I
that.
don't get that. That's
You're
interesting.
supposed
They're
to
not
sip
complaining.
it, not gulp it.
Oh, you
It's
need
101.
You need to know these ladies. I wouldn't be saying that.
I've done a
They
few-
can gulp if they like.
I've done some tastings at your place. I know exactly what your clientele is like.
Well, I know, and these ladies can walk to our house and stagger home.
I'm really hyperventilating over smelling this.
Okay.
I think we'll just get out of the business end.
What a beautiful texture.
Like that's a very, I use the term sophisticated, but it's a very very nice gin.
It's got that almost that cognac texture to it.
Fully rounded, yeah.
Yeah,
Good
it's nice.
mouthfeel is what we're talking about here. So it's made from a good spirit. I'm not sure where do they make their own spirit or do they get spirit in or
They don't say they make their own, so that probably means they
they
get
probably
it in.
don't. Right.
That's my test
Now, at
drive.
this point, we debate whether we go to garnish or ice.
No, we tend to do ice first. don't we?
Ice, you reckon?
Now the silver ice tongs are
Over there.
busted,
Right,
non-existent.
there we are. Now
Non-existent.
we've got the red ice tongs tonight.
That's it. You can get your own.
Oh, right. Excuse fingers. I'll drink this one anyway.
No, we've just found if you put ice in first,
Yep.
particularly
No, you won't get the nose off it.
but if you put ice before garnish, you'll get another level of flavour that comes out of the ice. Sometimes letting it go. That's what we reckon. You don't do it that way around.
I'm not sure. So if we're looking for nose, we're looking for things in a glass like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. We don't need to be a wine wanker and swill it around because
No.
it's got enough horsepower in the gin itself to lift up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I do swell it around because I am a
Oh yeah, I
Thank
I'm a bit
goodness.
of a-
Thank goodness we cleared that up.
I'm a bit of a winemaker too, so I can't help myself. But I like saying that, so we don't have to swill it around.
I like swirling.
But ice shuts it down on the nose. So if you smell it now, it's nothing like where we started.
No, but I find if I
It often
if
brings
I,
out to
From
me
a
a lot of the
drinking
palate.
but if I just go, if I try and garnish when I've only smelt it,
Yep,
you can get it wrong.
yep, true. So
So-
ice, like you, I agree. So a little bit of water with most things opens it up a bit, like a good whiskey, and a bit of ice. That's how I prefer it. Add a little bit of water to it. From a tasting point of view, ice definitely.
We've
So I
had so
think we're
much
doing
time
this
to
the
get
right way.
much time to get organised. We didn't get tonic.
Oh, what do we need? Tom?
And we'll go there. We'll go there.
Well, we do because we've sent our dear punters tonics to play with.
Oh, I see. Righto.
Yeah, they got the full.
You get the
Full trip.
middle.
I might have spilled that.
Oh well, spill some more.
So,
I'm going with orange. I think that's what we.
yeah, I think I'm going to go with orange as well.
I'm pretty sure this guy will work with lemon, but I think it was better with orange.
So I might show the back of the bottle as well. These guys have done a pretty good job with their labelling too. So
Yeah.
they've printed the
That's
inside
nice.
of the back label. We do that on some of our other things, and it's a bit tricky.
Very attractive though. Looks
Yeah.
great on the shelf,
Yeah,
which is important
yeah.
for those of us who sell the stuff.
You don't want to be left on the shelf, do you?
Well, that's nice with orange.
With orange, you reckon?
So I reckon I think that's a dry tonic.
It's almost like this is. It's almost like I don't want to ruin it with the tonic, but we'll go there.
You don't
anyway.
have to.
No, we'll go there.
Or you can have soda or
No.
whatever.
Yeah.
Which tonic? Which one? Dry or normal?
Dry, please.
We don't have trouble.
And what have we got here? Dried.
So that's lime,
Lime.
orange, lemon, strawberries.
I'm gonna try. Right. Oh.
That was nearly
Yeah,
very
almost.
arty
Yeah,
farty.
I know. It was almost.
Oh, that's actually with orange and tonic, dry tonic. That was nice. So let us know what
Yeah.
you're garnishing with. Oh, Liz Hayes, fresh kumquat. That, my dear friend, is an old trick.
Fresh kumquat.
Yeah. I'll push like
Fossey
that.
says, who let this guy go live without supervision? Somebody at home's watching you.
Can we block those people?
We should have gone with the moderator. Now you poo-pooed that, but you know.
Yeah, I know. It's apparently you have to fucking moderate stuff.
Yes, you have to bleep that out.
I know. Well, somebody will. I'm sure the moderators at Facebook will, or somewhere. Cheers. This is very nice. Thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, I like it with orange. Orange is good.
As I say, this will work with lemon. I think it works better with orange.
Look, to be honest, I think it's a standalone. I think
Yeah.
it's. I don't know that I'd put anything with it too much.
Have a
It's
smell of that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's the other thing is sometimes you just need, why I like
Yeah, no.
the dry tonic, because you don't need a lot of flavour, a lot of sweetness. You just
No.
need some bubbles to lift it.
No, I like that. That's very nice. But I'm with you. I think that's actually a gin you could drink on its own.
With a martini or something, it'd probably be good. It's quite delicate. It's good. It's good on the nose. Good mouthfeel.
The trick is always finding a vermouth that doesn't kill it.
Mm-hmm. Trick is not to put too much in it. Just I think it was Winston Churchill, was it? Just
Open bottle.
give a nod to the bottle, and that's it.
My uncle used to say, open a bottle of vermouth at the end of a long hallway.
And look in its direction.
Exactly right. All right. So
Right, cool. Right.
the Karoo, exotic and orange, says Christine.
Woohoo!
Yes, yes. If it's exotic and orange, we can count on Liz to give it a go. This is true. Now we're going to go with the Fossey's Gin Elixir, the White Frontenac.
Well, Liz has gone with fresh strawberries as well and thinks it's pretty good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that strawberry would probably
Yeah, work.
work well. Yeah. So I actually haven't had this for a little while.
We haven't had it for ages until we
No.
tasted it the other day to work out what goes with what. So explain.
Yeah, we've got the man here to explain.
White Frontenac.
Right.
Explain.
So Frontenac or Frontenac?
Frontenac.
Frontenac.
Frontenac depends on your pronunciation or whether you
Yeah.
Yep.
French.
Went to school.
Went to school, or whether you didn't, like some of us, or got kicked out, like some
Yeah.
of us. So Fronty or Frontenac is a great variety, right? So
Yep.
what the thinking behind this was, we did a Shiraz gin, and we actually nailed that pretty good, pretty early, and we were
Yep, we like that.
extremely happy with that.
Yep.
And we ended up doing a Shiraz on Shiraz barrel as well, which was took it a step
level.
further
Yep.
for a barrel aged stuff. Tick tick tick, cool. So with the Shiraz or with the red grape, we wanted to do a white grape variety. So so Frontenac is part of the Muscat families,
Yep.
Gordos, things that have got lots of flavour that usually aren't a standalone wine. They usually put them in with other
To punch
wines
something up.
as a blend to punch up the
Yep.
aroma,
Yep.
to punch up the fruity flavours,
Yep.
and to do all that sort of stuff. So we specifically chose that because we couldn't spell it as well. Where Gordo is pretty easy. So it's essentially the same as that. And we made some small batches in the distillery, like we do with most things, and we tried it out with our crash test dummies / customers, and we got really good feedback. So we thought, yep, let's do this, and then we did a fairly serious batch because it was harvest up where we were, so it was in
So you did a larger amount. Yep.
yeah, quite a bit.
A big batch.
Yeah, big batch.
And
And it was shit house.
right.
We couldn't understand what we did wrong. The only difference was in the early one we hand-picked the Gordo, and in the later one it was machine harvested, right? So it was a bit more of a commercial batch, which is not what we normally do, but we were going down this path. And when you machine harvest things,
You
from a
get
winery
squished.
point of view, they get squished, which is not too bad. But what happens is they'll crunch up the green stems.
Yes.
So you get these grassy green notes, and that's what actually defines a really
Yeah.
cheap wine. You know, is
Yes.
when you're crushing up the stems and the seeds and things. And basically, it was no good. So
Right.
we had this whole lot of what was supposed to be really good. So Tash, my fellow distiller, and I had a few other beverages and thought, oh, what are we going to do? So what we did was we ran it back through the still a second time and sort of tried to repeat what we did
With the small
early on
batch.
with the smaller
Yeah.
batch. And it came out, so it was like double distilled,
Yep.
and it was extremely, it was great. I thought
Yeah.
it was delicate, it was beautiful, had a bit on the nose, it kept
Yep.
kept the florals, it cleaned up the still, but we had to run the whole lot through the still a second time. So we ended up with this.
Did you add any more botanicals the second time around?
Oh, we did. So we did. We went through it a second time as well. So we didn't add quite as much. So in our still we put some in the we put our dried botanicals in the pot, and we put our fresh botanicals in the
basket.
In the basket. That's
Yeah.
just how we do things. Everybody
Yeah.
does it different. So we did. We went back and did that, but
Yep.
we didn't overdo the botanicals because this was a full gin ready
Yes.
to go, and,
Yeah,
and we run it back through. So that's what we did. So we ended up with a reasonably significant amount of stuff that we thought was very good.
Yep.
And I'm really scared when we run out of it because I'm not sure we're ever going to be able to repeat it. So we call
You
it
heard
on
it
our
here first.
posters and things. We call it a conundrum. So it
Right.
is beautiful. It's delicate. We actually won quite a few awards with it a few years ago.
So I'm getting that. I get a bit of musk, but I also get a really sort of that orange flower sort of smell. I mean, I guess I'm calling it orange flower because I don't know what white Frontenac flowers smell like.
Well, they don't have flowers.
Oh, okay.
It's a vine. It's a grape.
Yeah.
So that they do flower, but not in
Yeah,
in,
no, I
in the
understand.
sense of a flower.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
more
what I get. I
in the
get
juice.
I get sort
But
of.
it's sort of it's of the muscat / muscatel families. That's like which is about 30 different.
varieties, but
Yeah.
they all have the same undertones of the floral fruity notes.
Yeah.
But this is almost like a mature grape. It's almost like, to me, it's we used to do dried fruits back when I was a guy. That's
Yeah.
where I was brought up, on a vineyard with dried sultanas and raisins and gordos.
He did that too. Yep.
So to me, this is reminding me of Gordos late in the day. So Gordos which is essentially Fronty, they were fruit that you picked at the end of the season,
Yep.
and half the time they went very, they almost fortified on the rack. We had an old rack, so we put them on and they
Yep.
dried out there. But it was late in the season, so you're trying to dry them in this sort of weather, and quite often that didn't work so well. So you ended up with this sticky, almost plum pudding sort of mature raisin and
Yeah,
that
interesting
sort of thing. So to me,
You get a bit
this,
of that.
this reminds
Yeah.
me a bit of that, and maybe it's because I know what it is, but
You get quite a lot of there's stuff going on in the back palate as well when you actually swallow it. You get that real sort of kick.
Going onto the back palate, I'm getting sort of, I think it's almost like a green pea or a green shoot kind of.
that might have been the remnants of the early, where we smash it up a bit, got the green stems in from the grapes.
It's not unpleasant though.
No, well, it can be a bit dominating early on, but double distilled, we're fine.
So it's just a fabulous texture though.
It is, and
I really love the
this is
texture.
really good in a martini. Again, this is the one that I would,
Yeah.
if you're having something straight or on ice or just with an olive
Yeah.
or something very, very, where you want the gin to absolutely stand up as a delicate gin that's not
Yeah.
strong. This is,
So what sort of vermouth would you put with that?
well, yeah, I'm not a vermouth type of.
Vermouth Africondo.
No, I'm not. No, we actually thought about making some ourselves, but we didn't get that far.
Oh, Luke and Ross have been having a crack at vermouth. So.
Yeah, okay.
More on that later.
More on that
Anyway.
later, right?
Yeah, just time permitting.
So probably not a lot of it is all I'd say. So
Well, we know that.
What's
pick
what's the
one you want.
what's the French one? The not the Nolly Pra, the
not
Vespa
a lot.
Martini one. The Lillet
Lillet.
Blanc.
Lillet.
They're all over
Oh,
there. You can
Lillet
flip
Blanc.
them.
Yeah.
A little bit
right.
Lillet
So-
Blanc.
Yep. So I do know Lillet Blanc. Yes.
A bit dash Lillet Blanc, and I reckon you'll be off and racing.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Did you say there's one over there? All right. Let's not do that.
Okay. I'm going to do strawberry. That's what I think. Strawberry?
Yeah,
Not-
I really don't want to put citrus with that.
Not
Me?
fresh strawberries. Says Liz.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Twist of
Dried-
mandarin peel and ice is
Twist
in.
of mandarin peel and ice. That's what's happening in Mount Gambier.
Mount Gambier. I'm going with the strawberry too because I'm pretty sure we tried. It's kind of worked with everything, but I reckon.
Yeah.
Well, you can test it. There you go.
So these are dried strawberries, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we found because sending them out to everybody, if we dried them,
Yeah.
they actually.
They got there.
That's it.
Well, poor Ian, of course, he gets them first, so he has to wait longest. Or it sits around in the post office, the Mount Gambier post office, doesn't it, Ian? Well, it is very patient. I don't mind that. I'm going to do that with strawberry and orange, I reckon.
Yeah, so the strawberry's not really concentrated, so I think, well, I'm going to try strawberry too.
Oh, rare moment of agreement. And I think this is also a dry tonic. I think that doesn't need the sweetness.
No, I'd say. Didn't change anything on the nose.
That's what I really like about this dry tonic.
Yeah, it allows the gin to stand up, yep.
Of course, we don't use much of it either. That's also the key.
Tonic in general, or?
Yeah, just don't drown it.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for the invite.
Pleasure.
Well,
Thanks for hanging around.
No worries.
one of the things I often get asked in tastings when we go out in corporate land is like how much tonic goes in the gin. And as I say, well, you know, most people have half, 2/3, whatever, or more with tonic. But I always start with just a splash just to get the flavour, and then I add more tonic until I get to the point where I go, now, you can't take it out once you put it in. If you drown the gin, you bug it.
It's pretty hard to, I was going to say it's pretty hard to unfuck something, but we're not allowed to say that, are we? So I won't say that. But you're right, it's pretty hard to take the tonic out after you put it in.
Yeah.
And it depends what you're doing. Like if you're drinking it, most people know what they like as far as.
Oh, but I always like to
measurements
put a
go. But
splash
if
in
you're tasting it.
put a splash in to taste it, and then just bring it up.
But that's
until
also
I get
why
to that
I always
point.
say if I'm going to taste something new and you're in a bar and you see something different you haven't had, which we don't see many gins we haven't had, to be honest. I always ask if I can have tonic on the side because you want to be able to play, you know, and
I agree totally. So
you're not going anywhere
No.
that has post mix.
No.
So-
No, we don't do post mix.
No.
No.
So
Because the tonic can dominate something for sure. So for us in our
nice.
bar, we serve the tastings up. We serve a nice little tonic on the side in a bucket with some ice on it, so you can just start. And
Play.
we say that if you a gin virgin, you know, just try a little sip, but not too much. Probably most people don't generally understand gins straight,
Yep.
but just add a splash and then add it to yourself. Then once you've
Yeah.
sorted, then get into the drinks
Yeah,
themselves
yeah.
and have
I
it
agree.
how you like it.
I agree. I'm a 50-50 person, I think. Oh, that was very inelegant. Sorry about that, boys and girls.
Lucky some of us, you know, bring
Sophisticated.
some standards to the show.
So
You know, that's we should put that in a bottle and sell it, I think.
that's a very good idea. Don't know why we didn't think of that
Sterling
before.
idea, yes. Very
So once
juicy.
we've sold all of this white fronty,
Yep.
is that it?
Well, it's it for exactly that. So
So get in now, boys and girls.
I said, oh, look, exactly right, and it's not a big sales pitch from me, but you are exactly right.
Well, here's
Have we got any left?
I don't know. I think I might have drank it all.
Yeah.
Now here's something we put out there with everybody a few weeks ago, and that was with the strawberry. Some gins you can add just a slither of chili, and it just goes
I wouldn't do that with a floral gin though.
well.
And also be care we tonic. So we make
Yeah, we were
a
we
gin,
found that one.
a gin. Sorry, a chili
Christine,
gin.
ask Christine about the chili gin.
Yeah, and if you put tonic with it, it's like, you know, when you get capsicum sprayed before you get put in jail. We all know that, right?
No.
Oh, should get out a bit more. So hang out with me anyway. So it's the same thing. Capsaicin is the capsicum spray, and that's in chili or.
Yeah, and just gets
things.
involved in all of the.
If you make that and you put tonic with it, it's the bubbles take it up and essentially
I know.
capsicum spray.
Christine, poor Christine, who's on the line, had suffered exactly that.
Apologies, Christine.
And we all went to try it. And went, oh, this is great. This is great. Oh, a bit of time.
yeah, no.
Ian's gin
Stinking.
arrived on Friday. Gee whiz, I tell you what. That's actually, we've cut it finer than that, Ian, so don't complain. And it wasn't broken, so that's a good thing. He's just tried it with Dolan Blanc and said it was good.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much for being
Okay.
our crash test dummy on that one, Mr. Perry. He's a man who's prepared to put his body and his palate on the line.
Yeah,
Love that.
yeah, no.
They live dangerously out in Mount Gambier. Okay, moving
I
right
reckon I would
along.
go with a bit of orange too, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
I did.
Yeah.
Way ahead of you,
Verdict.
How come you got stuff left in your glass there, Ross?
because
Because
he's going to
I'm-
drive.
Oh, right. That old chestnut.
Yeah. Tanglin Orchid Gin, which is, I have to say, oh, look at the box it comes in.
I was just
Isn't
looking,
that
I didn't
cute?
realise that the inside of that label's printed as well.
Yeah, isn't
Like,
it gorgeous?
we've-
It's very beautiful.
Yeah,
And I think quite sort of Singaporean looking. It's very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. Yes.
Pop that down here. So the Tanglin Orchid gin you've heard a little bit about from Ross. What's in this one, Roscoe? How does this one work?
It's got the standard 5 English Raj style gin botanicals being into Singapore, but they also then say, okay, well, that's part of our heritage. The other half our heritage is being from Singapore. So there's a few other Singaporean things in. There's a couple of weird spices. There's a Java pepper, and there's vanilla orchid in it.
All right. Okay.
Oh wow!
So
you can smell
so
it.
it's got a bit of
smells
both. So
really different.
So instead of they've got
These guys don't make the chili gin, do they? There's somebody else makes a chili gin from Singapore or
no.
somewhere. I got that wrong.
They talked about making chili gin, but they didn't do it.
Oh, okay, fine.
So this
Don't
has
leave
like
it,
your
you read it,
standard
make it.
5 English kind of things as the base, and then as I say, there's a spice I can't even name. It's called Sal and the Java pepper and the vanilla orchid.
And the vanilla orchid is apparently one of the immortality herbs. Go rock.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know there was such a thing as an immortality herb.
I'll learn those herbal
Well,
medicines.
that's why I come to Melbourne, to learn these things.
In exciting orchid related news, I have. It's true. I grow orchids at home. I am by no means an expert, and I am feeding them some hilarious orchid food that we bought in Hong Kong. No idea what's in it because, of course, it's all written in Chinese, and the only bit written on the outside in English is orchid food. Anyway, I have managed to get the long Phalaenopsis orchids to flower quite a few times. One of them just flowers sort of almost constantly, and we've had one. I sit there and I talk to it. Come on, you've got exactly the same growing conditions. What are you doing? Come on. And this week,
got its first flower spike.
got its first flower spike ever. Very excited.
So it doesn't take living 5 years to get a flower spike. So
I'm patient.
Viv.
Well, I'm not patient.
Yeah, just said earlier, I think we should get out a little bit more often.
I'm out. This is not my house.
Well, really?
No. Everybody knows it's not our house. All the grogs not as neatly arranged in our house.
It's all in the bedroom, right? I mean, not your bedroom, it's in the spare bedroom.
Yeah. Yes. The kitchen, the bathroom doesn't have any alcohol in it, and neither does the spare room, as Liz can attest, or my office, and neither does our bedroom. Other than that's open slather.
So where do the orchids live? Are they inside or outside things?
inside.
The Phalaenopsis ones are inside ones.
What do you,
They're the
Pal-
they're the ones where you buy your mum an orchid for Mother's Day, and it comes in a little pot with a long spike like that with a couple of those. Like the whole thing's only about that big.
Right.
That's a Phalaenopsis.
So I know nothing.
As opposed to the Cymbidiums, which are the ones you can grow outside.
In
and
big
they have,
pots and they go,
have big pots, and they have these long bracts that have like multiple big flowers, but their flowers are shaped like a daffodil, kind of almost with a...
Welcome to the Wigs Orchid
Sorry.
Lessons.
Anyway, it is floral. My apologies. Anyway,
No, well, fair enough.
but the Phalaenopsis are the ones that are the big, flat, white-looking orchid.
We've gone down a rabbit hole that we probably...
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's Singapore, so yeah. And it's...
Where's the box? There's a big picture on the box.
Well, no, it's a bit...
There's a kettle and some stuff. No. In fact, there's nothing useful in the box. I just thought it was pretty. Anyway, okay. So what do we get? I think you can definitely smell the vanilla,
Yeah, I was...
and I
gonna
get
say
it, and I
something.
get it. I
So
do get a
vanilla,
greenness
yes.
that's nearly that green cardamom kind of smell.
Yeah, I think we went with that before. Was it? We couldn't work out what was cardamom or
And
cardamom or something.
you certainly get some of that whatever Java pepper is. It's presumably a pepper. Is you get a bit of that pepperiness on the nose. I reckon.
So for me, definitely vanilla, and that's a nice thing to have a gin for sure. We don't do it, but so that's the difference, I guess. I pick up.
That's got the most juniper on the back of any of these three gins, I reckon, and it doesn't have the texture that these ones have.
I think the pepper goes with the juniper. It sort of kind of like builds the backbone of the gin.
But I just feel it doesn't have this to me is almost a bog standard gin texture, whereas these ones feel quite
So I'm
different.
going to go out on a limb here, and I don't really know about these guys, but a grape spirit, that gives a lot better mouthfeel or texture, as you call it, or viscosity. Right?
Yeah.
Just naturally, even though the
English use grain spirit. Yeah.
in English use grain spirit.
So my guess
and I
is this is
suspect-
grain spirit.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Would be my.
It's got that feel in the middle palate, isn't it? Really, you can kind of. the
Right.
grain spirit.
Amchor.
Amchor.
That was the one you were looking for.
Is it Amchor?
Yes.
God, where'd you dredge that out of? Out of your brain. Crikey. That's usually, yeah, anyway.
It's gone now. Won't come back. It's come out. Been out. I'm
Oh, a bit of
icing.
ice. I'm gonna work
Okay,
out
let's ice it up.
what garnish are we going with, you reckon?
I honestly don't know.
I
I feel like I need an orchid in there now.
Well, I know from all
They grow so slow.
the literature that Sanderson and also says at the back of the bottle that they say suggest orange.
All right, well, let's go with the suggestion.
But I also
So
know
these-
that I've gone with strawberry and got, I think, a better result.
Yeah, okay. So I think the strawberry here doesn't sort of hold the strawberry flavour as much as I thought. Citrus does, but the dried strawberry,
It takes a while to.
freeze dried. Is that that's not
No,
freeze
No,
dried?
no, it's just dehydrated.
Dehydrated, yeah. Freeze dried stuff does. Right, I'll transgress.
It's like all these things. It takes a bit of time to rehydrate.
It makes the and while we were messing around with the dehydrator, it makes a really good long drink because when you leave it in a long drink, it just goes all.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. You don't wind up with mushy. You know, you get more of the flavour out of it. But when you put fresh strawberries in, by the time you've had a really long drink, and sometimes it can be a bit gack.
So freeze dried strawberries and freeze dried soft fruit like
Yeah.
that is good. Air dried.
Citrus is good.
Citrus is
I know,
fantastic
but we
on
just
all
couldn't
things,
freeze dry
particularly dipped in
strawberries
chocolate.
too hard.
Yeah, I know we're not into freeze drying ourselves, but freeze dried strawberries do maintain all of the characteristics.
I'm going with both.
And I'm going to have the other tonic. I think it just needs a little bit of sugar.
Oh, I've accidentally drank mine again.
Yeah.
I thought a little bit more of a.
And that might be because I haven't got orange.
No.
Do you think it needs a bit of, I think it needs a bit more sugar. Whereas the other ones didn't.
I think the last time I had it, as I recall, I thought the ideal combination was with the sweeter tonic, the strawberry, and a slice of chili.
Yeah, well, a grain spirit, I would suggest, would go better with a bit sweeter tonic. It just
Yeah.
doesn't,
No, good
might,
thinking.
might help with that
Yeah.
viscosity or perceived viscosity or mouthfeel.
Good thinking.
That's what I'm here for. Not just here for my good looks and, you know.
Glad we cleared that up.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, that's nice. So what's everyone? Oh, pomegranate, says Liz. I know where you got pomegranates. Nice work.
Yeah, pomegranates are in at the moment. Where
Yeah.
do they come from?
They come from our front yard.
Ah, right. So how come we don't have
Chili ginger, says Lisa.
Whoa.
chili
Because
ginger?
we tasted it before we tasted it and sent the packs out before the pomegranates were ripe.
Oh,
Because you've got to allow for long enough to get to the wilds of Mount
I've got
Cambion.
it. The wilds of Mount Cambion.
No, yeah, Ian's gone with the orange, strawberry, and dry tonic. Okay, and says it works well.
Okay. Good job.
Oh yeah, okay. So,
I mean,
So I think
the
this is-
Tangler guys recommend orange, but
So I'm going with that. So I would say orange definitely, and a sweeter tonic definitely. I think that's very nice.
I was always trying to, Steve. I always try to explain
Yeah.
to the to people that it's a chemistry experiment because you've got different
Yeah.
Which makes it
chemical
sound
infusions.
way
put
more
together.
intelligent than it is really.
Well, it's the
no,
intelligentsia, right?
Yeah, no, well,
A group of intellectuals
mad
that are
intellectuals.
intellectuals that are.
Oh, I love that. We are the gintellectuals.
We are.
We are.
We are the intellectuals.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Now, listen, while we're talking about things that sound more intellectual than they are,
Oh, wait, what did you look at me with?
well, you know, it was a 50-50 bet, right?
Oh, you could have gone either way.
Why are you hanging around in Melbourne, Mr. Timmis?
Oh, we're opening a small distillery down in Lygon
Oh,
Street.
as you do.
As you do, as one does.
Right.
When,
So what
when
are we
it
going to be
come out
doing
of
down
cupboard.
there?
So we're actually putting in a small still in 209 Lygon Street, just near Grattan Street, smack in the middle of in Carlton.
Yep.
Carter Blues. So we're putting in down. It's a 2-story place. It's quite modest in size, so we can't do massive amounts of things. But
Yep.
we'll have a small still down there. We'll be making gin
One
there.
of those nice copper jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Something pretty cool and groovy to look at. And we'll have a retail bottle shop down there. So
Yep.
so our staff, whether it's gin, whiskey, rum, moonshine, or vodka,
Awesome.
we make
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of the 5 essential food groups in
Yep.
life. Whilst we won't be making all of that there, like the whiskies, we won't be doing there, but the gin we will. And then upstairs we'll have a bit of a late night groovy whiskey gin bar.
Nice.
Which will be pretty cool, and a small alfresco area at the front. So yeah, I'm actually quite excited about it. Lygon has definitely got definitely the best vibe in Melbourne on consistently. So from Tuesday, Wednesdays, lunchtimes, it's really great. They've got Italian restaurants. I had
Much more variety than there used to be. When I was at uni, it was just Italian.
Yeah. So last night I had Afghan. I went down.
Nice.
We were going to go out for tea there one night, but it doesn't serve alcohol there, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But not.
So it makes it
Not
a
one
lunchtime
myself.
restaurant. A breakfast restaurant.
It's a breakfast restaurant. Well, don't you have gin for breakfast?
Obviously.
So Afghan, Egyptian, a few Indian restaurants, obviously Italian, Mexican. It's just
Much better, much more variety than there used to be. Awesome.
the place to go. It's absolutely fabulous. I love it. We're staying there while we're doing the renovations in the building. So
He has got a bathroom, I need to say.
yeah, I know that was the first thing.
I will actually confess that we actually had to inspect the building and do it with Steve on FaceTime because he was in lockdown in Mildura.
Yeah.
We had to walk around this very dodge building. But
Yeah.
it's going to get there. It's going to be fab, I reckon.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of work to be done.
So what's the ETA?
ETA for the build completion is the end of June, so hopefully sometime in July.
Right.
For an opening.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
So we're going to invite all our Wigseller friends?
Yes, absolutely. We should.
Well,
Awesome.
I've been discussing with Steve that we have a gin club there in.
Well,
What
it's-
a good idea.
Oh, wow. I'm glad you... Oh, we've been discussing this, right. So upstairs is... it'll be pretty groovy, some antique furniture, some couches, some lounges, some tables and chairs and and a bar. So it'll be somewhere where we can have these types of things one-on-one. Now that we're not in lockdown anymore, we can go somewhere and do this. Apart from our friends in Mount Gambier, sorry about that.
But we can stream for Ian. That's
Absolutely right. So we can do
Awesome.
lots of things, and that's part of the thinking with this is we've got somewhere that's our own. But equally, I'm sort of hoping that it'll be a bit of a mecca for our whiskey guys as well. So Australian whiskey is just on the start, and I want to engage with a few of our fellow distillers around the countryside who are all doing great stuff. And whiskey in general is on the up and up, and we as a country, we're not massive whiskey drinkers, but we are becoming whiskey people. And I'd like to be able to bring guys like myself that are in the bush into town to have a place where we can taste their stuff as well as buy it and hang out and
So you won't be
do
just
cool
selling
things.
your own stuff, selling their
No,
stuff.
we'll be selling all of our own stuff, so all of our own gins and our whiskies.
But there are other stuff too.
Yeah, but
Nice.
other Australian distillers. So I think it'll be
Cool. That's awesome. What a great idea.
A little bit like Wigs on Lygon, I think. Yeah.
Awesome. We will let everybody know when that happens. Now, what's going to be the gins for next month, Ross?
I don't know. I haven't had a chance to think about it. And so
Gosh, what a surprise. Okay, so it's going to be a surprise gin month in June.
it'll be
Watch this
very
space.
surprising. Has anyone got surprises they'd like to be surprised by? I'm taking.
Well, I reckon we've spoken
Take a
about
request.
chili gin tonight, so I think something. Well, I don't know. You guys
We've
may
done
know.
spicy. We've
Oh,
done
have you
spicy
done
gins.
spicy? Have you done?
We've done everything, but I mean the
Spices.
trouble is, if you say you do floral gins, there's probably about 20 or 30 floral
Yep.
gins, and we pick
Yes.
3.
Yeah.
And then when we say we've done floral gins, well, we haven't really.
We
done
are
that.
not going to walk
You've-
ourselves down a hole because we actually have no idea what we've got in terms of stock. So what we're going to do is
Surprise.
we are going to actually Ross is going to do his job and choose some gins, and that will be good. So you know how it goes. You guys are going to receive it anyway, so that's all right. People who don't subscribe, think about it and let people know. And we will see you next month. I will leave you guys to sign off.
Oh, you're going over to click the off button. Well, thanks for the invite. I love what you've done with the place. It's absolutely fabulous. Viv, Ross, as always, it's been a pleasure. Just so you guys know, right? Before we sign off, these guys are absolute stalwarts of the Australian spirit and wine industry. So it's they've been supporters of us from pretty much the get-go. So our little distillery in the bush, this has been our leg up into the big smoke, if you like. And I honestly, genuinely appreciate that. And now we're here, and we're here to stay, and we've made good friends with everybody online as well as you guys. So
Awesome.
cheers to that.
Thanks, Steve.
Cheers.
Bye, guys. See you
Cheers.
next time.